out. Liquid must 2-0 from here to win this best of 5. They're going to learn their lesson. Specialist Thresh is too good. They will not let him get it. They don't have the chance to first pick.
Definitely was crucial in the last game. It's actually been so big in this whole series. Not only just the plays that they've created with flash play and hooks, but the lanterns as well.
Narban adding in as well. Again, Phoenix1 realizing what exactly is high priority. Liquid again with the Elise ban. These teams have dialed into at least one version of comps that work for them.
I'm going to say they will stick with the Corki ban as the last ban as well.
This is, I actually super love as we get farther into this best of 5 because you drop all the metagame bans. The Kalista, the Zac that some people do, the Caitlyn, things like this that like, oh, you never let other teams get this. But as you dial into your opponents, you realize what they're really good at. This Thresh, the Elise, this Gnar, this Tristana. Like the only holdover ban is this Jarvan that P1's like remaining, you know, in here from day one. So we'll see if Liquid goes for like the meta ban of a Caitlyn or a Kalista, or if they do another target ban. Try to get rid of like the Renekton or something that Zig plays.
I still think the Corki.
Wow, actually the Taliyah, they leave up the Corki.
Yeah, I guess so. Will Phoenix1 first pick it for him? No.
Wow. And P1 think Kalista's actually more important than the Caitlyn.
It's nice with a Tristana ban. You can feel like you have a really, really good hold over the bottom lane. That transitions so often into dragon control as well. A lot of playmaking from bottom lanes. You know, definitely powerful things here. Caitlyn's still available. She is nerfed, and they were pretty decent nerfs, but people still have that super high priority. The range advantage early on is still insane.
And we'll see what else comes through. The Gragas is available. That took some bans before as well. We saw the quick hover onto the Rex side. That could have been a steal away from like Young. Since they banned away the Elise, they might want to push him down even further as champ pool, and that will be the Rek'Sai steal away. So Dardoch seeing what P1 values, and the P1 value of this first pick was getting the Kalista over the Caitlyn, which some teams would actually just say the Caitlyn was better anyway, but that was their choice. They thought Kalista was the most important champion available in the pool and took it out.
Really interesting because you highlight the value of taking away the Rek'Sai from Mike Young's comfort, and I definitely think a lot of the pick here was because of that. Because if we look at default games, Dardoch picks Gragas there, you know, 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
But because Mike Young has been putting that high priority on the Rek'Sai, steals it away. And even though Mike flashes the Nidalee, they don't select it here early on. And if they don't have him actually pick it, then what's the point? And since it's the same round pick here for Ryu, they might even be letting it go through and having him drop down further.
Sometimes the point is debating it a bit further, saying, okay, do we want Nidalee? Let's wait to see. We know we want Braum here. Let's make sure we want Nidalee. Would you rather take Syndra? Would you rather take Corki? The answer is no. Okay, then. We'll take a little bit more time. So they'll have to swap. It costs them a couple of keystrokes, but they discuss it a little bit longer, and they use that turn for those choices. Liquid have one last pick in phase 1, and they will take the Shen that was banned away in one of the prior games. This is interesting. They can't get rid of all the important things that P1 played before. There's the Maokai that Zig was good at, the Renekton that he was good at, the Corki or the LeBlanc that Ryu had won with as well. TL going to be low on options.
I do like the red side last picking solo laner and then throwing 2 more bans into that lane though, so they can protect Lorlo a little bit with the next 2 bans. Plus Shen into Kalista, I feel like it counterbalances a little bit of that early control on bottom lane and the Kalista lane with all the possible plays in a Braum Kalista, and the chase down is definitely very scary. So if there is an all-in down there, Shen kind of adds a little bit of a check that they're going to have to pass.
Absolutely the case. We'll see if they can pass that check, or if it's going to bounce and they don't have the balance for it. You know, Shen is all about balance of things, and that's a lore line for you. So chase actually the ban away. I feel like Shen might just outscale it. They will allow the Maokai to go through for Phoenix1.
I mean, when we talk about throwing the next 2 bans into that lane, it's Zig has 3 mostly played champions. Well, 2 most played champions.
1 with the Maokai.
And then coming up very closely there with the Jace. But Kled is the one that's still left up for him if he wants to take it into the Shen, which I think is actually pretty decent. So,
okay. Yeah, if he likes the matchup, then fine. He wants to bait that one in. Zyra is the ban, but Liquid looks like they want Lulu instead to buff up the back line. They've got Shen Rek'Sai for front line, so tanks are there. Zyra's still a bit surprising to me, but if they thought Zyra was going to lane bully the Kalista Braum out, I mean...
It's
Pick a more abusive lane than Caitlyn's there. There's not
That's
many.
what I was going to go for. I was like,
Yeah.
that to me, every time I see that combo, it's like the longest of ranges.
Yep. Yeah. Longest natural ranges of conventional champions in that lane. Lulu going to be grabbed, though. Still a good laner. We'll see what comes through on this one. Now, P1 do actually get dibs on a mid lane. They left up the Syndra that Mickey had played so many times this series. Yeah, they're going to get that Zig Maokai, which, again, seems to be that Lorlo likes the matchup since they left that one up and banned away the Jace, and Corki will go through. Ryu getting his pick of the litter for the most part. Talia the only, well, Talia and I guess Orianna the only mid lane bans in.
All right, we'll see if Team Liquid are going to pay for this one because a lot of teams have given the Corki over to Ryu and regretted it.
Yeah. Is it going to be Syndra? No, Cassiopeia the hover right now for Mickey. Again, he had the chance to play the Syndra. I guess he says if you get a Hex Drinker and a Phage, you won't die, so it goes for more of a team fight power. And worth noting that the Caitlyn nerfs did nerf her team fighting with the attack speed per level. Of course, again, 715, not 716, so the trap nerf and the Q path through. Not here. We're talking about the attack speed that got hit in 714. And that's going to be the lock-ins for this entire squad.
Really solid late game team fighting from Team Liquid here. Ardent Sensor Caitlyn plus a Cassiopeia. You know, if they can get there on even grounds, they can definitely pull it off. But I feel like there's so much more creative bottom lane, especially playmaking from Phoenix1. Kalista Braum has a lot of potential for skirmishes, you know, anything around Dragon, anything on the bottom half of the map. Definitely has a, within the influence sphere of Arrow and X Special.
Yep. We know Mike Young, super comfortable on the Nidalee. He'd like to be available on the map, full health, ready to pounce at any time. Corki, a great roamer as well, has good wave clear. We'll see who can actually win the mid lane matchup. It's actually gone back and forth. Mickey did not win every laning phase. Ryu got a couple, kills or not. And here we are. This could be the last game of the series. Phoenix1 up 2-1 in this one more game, and they are done. They passed the test, and they rest on their laurels until Summer Split, they hope. Liquid need to win 2 straight.
Yeah, the loser is not out. The loser does have a second shot here against one of the challenging teams, whichever one's going to win that today on the opposite stream.
Yep. And that's, of course, EU versus Gold Coin United. It could be a rematch based on who wins. We'll see what happens. Game 4 coming up right now. We are onto the fountain, and we'll see if TL joins the list of teams that regret letting Ryu have Corki, or if they've got the kind of picks they need. Mickey feeling good to the Cassiopeia.
Triple Doran shield starts here for Phoenix1.
Worth noting, actually, I think it is reasonable to go Spell Thieves on Matt's Lulu here if you really want to play for lane pressure. Because they've had kind of a rough time in the 2-on-2s, there's reason to go for a more aggressive 2-on-2 play style. They've grabbed Ignite on Matt, for example. He's got Thunder Lords. Like, everything would lead you to think Spell Thieves.
The other thing is that, yeah, he's into a melee matchup, right? So you will get your procs off, so you're going to get value out of that extra damage, out of that money that you're going to be collecting.
Right.
It's almost always very easy to consistently versus the Braum Kalista lane. It's very low range.
Yep. So he's going to go for the backline version instead. Dardoch dancing around. Feels good. Takes a lot of arm strength to do that, by the way. I definitely can't do that. Holding yourself up with like 1 or 2 hands at a time.
Mind blown.
I mean, that said, it's an animation. Rek'Sai could have 0 muscles at all. They just made it look that way. Thanks, computer graphics. With your unrealistic expectations of what a land shark should be able to do. All right, we're into this one, though.
Rek'Sai's not the average. Okay, that's peak performance.
That's peak performance, land shark. A nice sapling, gonna help Mike Young in a bit. He's gonna go for the red buff first. He's gonna give the leash, and of course they want to get to lane. I don't think you want to sacrifice too much when you're playing this kind of lane.
Yeah, so when you're watching Nidalee, the Nidalee starts, if you're starting Q, they're definitely going to start on a buff like that. So you can get the long range Q spear into it, resets for the execute as well. If he starts traps, then that would be the Raptor start. You get the multiple traps down and get your resets on your pounce because there's so many small monsters in that camp. You reset off all the marked ones. Yep. When I do see them start buffs and start Q, usually they're going to go for invades in early plays. This is just pretty much training from watching Cuz and Korea's solo queue. He always goes for super early stuff. Level 3, buff to buff.
And this.
See but Mike Young is probably just going to continue the rest of his camps here. Shen is definitely a target that is possible early on, especially since Shen early on actually goes for good trades. You can see him really threaten with the pass-through Qs.
Yep.
And Zig has to respect it early on. That being said, Maokai's so good at setting up ganks, and Nidalee has plenty of damage. If you have Zig, we've seen them run this combo where Zig's either on Renekton or something that stuns him up in place, easy spear lands, and then Mike gets to have pretty free chase down on Nidalee. Same thing for Maokai though. Yeah. You can root him up, as long as you don't instantly Arcane Smash and bop him out of the way. Communicate ahead of time.
Absolutely. Well, interesting jungle pass and laning choices here as Lolo got his early enough Trinket Ward down to not be ganked by Mike Young. Mike himself went to take away Scuttle Crab, and we'll notice that the entire top jungle is gone. So Dardak is doing a really good read on what Mike's invade might have been. Ends up wasting his time and gets to get back on his side of the map. Now, he's still 2 camps behind. It'll take some time for Dardak to catch up in XP, but at least will not be counter jungled yet.
It's actually one of the favorites to protect against Krug steals. Those very quick red quadrant clears, see it a lot on like Rengar. Dardak, as you said, predicting the classic Mike Nidalee clear up to top side into the Krugs. It doesn't, get him an advantage. It's purely protection, and Mike is still going to be able to take his own Krugs.
Yep. And of course, Nidalee is insane at killing Krugs. They have a ton of armor, but negative magic resist, so it's just a lopsided matchup. It's very easy to knock him down. It's like the CS count. As you might have seen, Dardak got very low in that one. Piglet does get the headshot just barely down into its special. And right now it's a 3-minion lead for the TL duo. Not actually insane, not a gigantic lead just yet.
The other thing I want to keep talking about Dardak and his route a little bit, because not only did he do the red quadrant kill, but he also went down for the early scuttle to protect the bottom lane again, the pushing bottom lane. And he's been able to finish his entire jungle route here, only losing one small wolf to the Nidalee, while using up a bit of Mike's time as he went for the Krug invade, found nothing there, and had to teleport out. And every second does matter in that early route. Plus, going to go right back to his Raptors now. And all objectives really accomplished there.
Yeah, the major difference being that I think Mike Young ended up full clearing Krugs. I think Dardak left 1 or 2 down. So they both got 1 scuttle, and then Mike Young took 1 of the small wolves away. So very similar stuff. At the end of the day, Dardak was able to keep pace with an early game Nidalee, which is very hard, especially because Mike Young got a better leash. He actually got some help in the red buff, and Dardak roughly soloed his stuff. Nice trade out from Mickey as well. Right now it's equal gold those and equal CS in those 2. Top lane's been equalized as well, and bot lane not far apart, so a very, very equal trade of blows in the early game.
Meanwhile, top side, Lord Low on Shen. He's got the wave very nicely positioned right in front of his turret. Nothing big building up either, so there is the possibility of going for offensive moves around there. Tribush Ward would have to be accounted for if Team Liquid really wanted to move around and set up in that area. That being said, they could just wait for the Shen level 6, gain that passive little effect where you have bottom lane priority.
Ryu just trying to stay alive so far in this one. First recall had come through for Mickey, but not so for Ryu. Small XP disadvantage as a result, but Mickey should be fine. We'll see if the bot lane pressure does come in. First Corky package, straight up at 7 or 8 minutes, but not too far away. Nice block bike special to stop some of the wave clear, and Mike Young wanting to lane gank in the bot lane right now. Red buff not yet up, and no jungle camps to clear. Gonna be exhaust on the Piglet. Here's the chase down. 2 more autos. He has a flash to get away from it. Nice couple of shots from him. Special puts him down really low. Another trap, and they're gonna almost get the ignite, but Matt wasn't in range. He now puts it onto Arrow, and here comes Rek'Sai. Dardak level 5 does not get by the javelin. They force 3 summoners out of Phoenix1. The same though for TL. Ooh. Nice trade, Mickey getting some good damage. Keep in mind, he's level 6. He can go for the ulti. Not gonna put it on the Ryu though.
Yeah, gotta respect that all in from the Cassiopeia. A lot of mana burn, but it looks like Rek'Sai packing up to the top side too. Ryu does have both summoners available. Oh, Dardak on a ward as well though, so Mike Young should be able to set up.
Yeah, gets the Krugs for free, level 6 here. Not the most important for Nidalee, but can matter. The red buff
coming over to punish.
Well, Dardak gets this one, doesn't quite land the javelin. Ryu around, but no items yet in the inventory. But now with this red buff in the fog of war. Oh, you're kidding me! He actually Qs for vision and lands the smite, I think it was. So Dardak steals away the red buff.
Nice little snag there to get it right out of Mike's hands.
That slick.
Ryu also able to get back in time since it's a cannon minion wave. He doesn't lose out on the minions for protecting his jungler. Bottom lane turret though, under fire.
Mass out of summoners though, only summoner heal available for the flash. Here comes the follow through. Shen is gonna arrive, and Arrow gonna drop for first blood. The taunt is in, and especially gonna drop as well. TL finding the win through bot lane, finally. First turret for the first time all series.
Team Liquid again taking the initiative. Matt and Piglet absolutely crushing this lane with the double range matchup and the huge range advantage on Caitlyn. Weakening the turret so much. That Shen at level 6 we talked about. Lorlo had it ready waiting. He backed off from Ziggs so that there was no interruption. That is first turret gold. That's more kills for themselves. That is the Infernal Drake. That is a large advantage. All gained in one fell swoop from Team Liquid.
There you go, 2,000 up. Mike Young has to trade red buffs at the end of the day. Even with what Narg's done before. What a nice dive.
Look at that bullying. Mike Young is up at his rafters, so he's not going to be able to come down and answer. Dardoch answers flash for flash. The turret only takes 2 more shots to kill, and as quick as that, it's over.
It's over. 2 kills in for Dardoch. Gets the gank to happen. And Lorlo, well, his TP was down from, I think, some laning phase plays, but that's fine. He gets to walk back up there, going for a defensive build as well. Not the team at rush we normally see out of a Shen, and to be honest, if you're Caitlyn snowballing, you don't need damage yet. Yeah, unlucky for Arrow. Missed that too, ouch.
Tilted. That is a tilted.
Maybe he thought he was going to get ulted by Mickey, tried to bait it out. Clears the wave easily enough. He was going to time out regardless. Not a bad play out of Ryu. It'll be an equal farm game though in the mid lane. If you're TL, I think you wait until you got the penalty again for your next big play. As far as the timers are concerned, Shen ult's 87 seconds, and Malachi TP is under 60, so Zig can match by the time Rolo has a global. Still sitting at 2,000 apart. Let's see what the option is. Next Drake's going to be Infernal, so TL really wanted to keep control of bot lane in about 5 minutes' time. Rift Herald spawns now. Just gonna get spot him. It doesn't really care too much. Blue buff going to be an easy handover. Yeah. It's actually not quite an E range. Now he can get it.
Team Liquid can kind of milk this advantage that they have early because
all right.
They're waiting a little bit for Cassiopeia and Caitlyn, to power up, get their items coming through. But because they have such a big early advantage, they can really control a lot of the jungle income and make sure that they get very comfortably into mid-game. Looks like Phoenix1 are going to try and answer that with a Rift Herald for themselves.
Yeah.
And try and knock down one of those turrets and start answering objectives, but even that siege is not very easy for them to pull off this early.
Absolutely. Quick update on the other stream. Another stream is joining us now, so welcome, those of you watching in. United actually 3-0'd. So GCU are out, and the loser of this one will play E United for the last spot. Of course, the winner is going to go in, and the loser is going to play E United, which is, in both cases, surprising, because we thought with E United getting completely smashed by Liquid, and they were the ones down and out. GCU made P1 work for it. We thought P1 was going to be weak, but Phoenix1 had won the first 2 games of the series really cleanly. And TL was starting to make somewhat of a comeback in Game 3. Did so, of course. And we'll wait and see what our final matchups end up being here. Get off to a nice early start in the bot lane. TP is now available for the top side players, at least with State United, that counts. See if that comes through any further. P1 with Mike Young to find themselves a good Rift Herald spawn.
Yeah, it's interesting to try and even come up with where they're going to use this. They might wait till the Infernal Drake gets closer to spawning and try and combine it with that pressure. Zig goes on a long twisted advance. But not going to find Lorlo. He gets into the minions, so there's no possibility of comboing with the spear.
It's a decent summon. I mean, Shen's wave clear is not insane, but I think they're afraid of Cassiopeia roaming up or the Rek'Sai doing the same, but I think that wouldn't have been such a bad summon to get half the top lane turret down for it.
Yeah.
But it's going to be instead Corki. See if there's a play on the bot side. Looks like he spotted a ward recently. Has to go right back out. The turret's already fallen, and TL really spending the last 4 minutes straight staying in this lane. They didn't go for top lane to get, more out of the early BF sword. At this point now, with the Infernal Break spawning at 145, I think they have to stay down here and play for that next Drake spawn.
Yeah, you want to use that Shen presence up on top side. Stand United down there. It would definitely be advisable to set up for some vision around the Drake as of right now. The advanced wards are kind of protect you for the secondary ones when you get closer to the spawn. Because if you're trying to get your deep wards 20 seconds before, and oftentimes it's going to be too late and you will be collapsed upon. It's hard to keep track of the wards in the river at that point, so you have to worry about Maokai flanks teleporting in behind you, getting that snare on your Caitlyn or something like that.
I like this play out of Lorlo. He just TP'd to top lane with a minute and a half left on the Drake to get his team out, finish the Merc Tread, so now he's got better items than Zig. So either Zig has to match the recall and walk back to lane, or he's got a TP back, which of course is going to lose him Drake pressure. So Lorlo has got himself somewhat of a power spike in time for Drake. It's a smart play. Any Shen players out there, burn your TP before the objective, buy up, then have your ulti for it. Definitely like that a lot. Strata going to get shut down a little bit here, and P1 grouping up to play for this Drake. 30 seconds till it spawns, and this is the vision game now.
Yep, as we're talking about, it's a little bit dangerous to fight over that. 30 seconds left. Zig, I think there's no option of him going back at all even. He has to be pinned down. It's not like a terrible scenario. He's down at Tiamat, but
yeah,
a big of an issue. Caitlyn traps going down also kind of helps on that ramp. It's definitely a little bit difficult to get through for the enemy team. Trinity Force completed almost just in time here for Ryu, as he's about to get right back out there.
I think he's got the package. He's belting over there quickly.
Level 11 with package with Trinity Force.
Yep.
Ryu is peeking at the right time.
He is peeking at the right time. Here comes the dive on the bot side. A big ulti coming across. Can they find the kill? So they're going to pull back special. It's going to throw him right back in. Here comes the package. Piglet getting the kill on an arrow, though, and the chase comes in. Some more Maokai in the front line. A big Megadar, or just, sorry, instead of CC coming across. Megadar's not in this game, but Zig. Giant heals coming back in. Now kiting back. Ulti's coming across for the rectify, and not quite the damage. You can't get the chase, and Dardoch going to be shut down for this one. Another kill coming in for Mike Young. But Piglet getting some shots in the back of it all. Looks like it's a 3-4-2 in favor of Phoenix1. Able to get more out of it.
Ooh, definitely a messy one there, too. Multiple low health kills getting away at the very end. What an exhaust there on the jump in. Mickey, Cassiopeia ultimate was definitely poor. The support only that is attached to a Kalista and gets immediately out. So basically Team Liquid play that one without Cassiopeia ultimate, and it gets very close after that. Dardoch does take the ultimate in, while Mike Young goes counter dive. He gets the assassination himself. So that's actually the difference in the kills there, one extra, as Mike Young finds his target, but the exhaust goes down under Dardoch, plus then the Braum stun comes in right after, so he's unable to finish off either Lorlo or Xpecial.
Yeah, all those guys very low, the tanks all injured, and that was with Arrow dying at pretty much the very start. He was the first death, and then the 4v5, they picked up 3. So, back on the map this time around, though, no ulti for Lorlo, no TP for Zig. Lorlo's tool comes back first. A nice Scuttle Crab. Mike Young getting away pretty cleanly on this. That's not going to land, and now Mickey looking for a bit of a trade. Arrow's ulti not up for a few more seconds, but it's soon. Shiv done for Piglet's going to be a nice power spike. We'll see if we get something out of this.
Yeah, the cooldown's very quick here for Phoenix1. Stand United is extremely long cooldown that early on, so they aren't going to have that Stand United. And with it being an Infernal Drake, that means ain't nobody going top. They're going to stick around here. This is a very big prize.
Yeah. If it delays long enough, aka like another minute, there's a 60-second desync between Zig's TP and Stand United, but that's if it takes another minute to break out, which is maybe unlikely, but who knows. TL pushing in first, though. They've got mid lane control for a couple of seconds as they knock down the minions. And Ryu is forced to answer. Nice chunk on a mat. Good javelin toss. Will there be more? And pretty soon, Lorlo gets to walk top lane.
They're seeding this Infernal Drake. With those recalls, they give the prize over to Phoenix1.
Wow. He won 1,500 gold down, able to actually make the play to grab Infernal. The chunks were there to sustain out of Mike Young's Nidalee and the poke as well.
Yeah, Team Liquid saying, this is your time to shine. You have the Corki on Trinity Force. You know, we've got Cassiopeia and Caitlyn trying to scale. Kallista's Kalista still has room though, right? You know, you're going to get Blade of the Ruin King, and then you still build Hurricane, so there's definitely still spikes to come for Phoenix1 as well.
Yep. We'll see when those finally come through. Just for now, waiting around is that objective. And sadly for TL, they thought they had control. They tried to play around it. They used the Shen. They put the dive in, and it was not enough for them. They gave away an extra kill, and they eventually lost that Infernal Drake. Still putting Piglet on the bot side, though. I'm still a little surprised they're not using the Caitlyn to knock more turrets down. She's got that attack damage, and generally speaking, still better items. Individually, Piglet is up 1,400 gold over Arrow.
I do feel like a siege tactic would be quite good for Team Liquid. Phoenix1, they don't have the best wave clear. They do have some, but it's not like you're going to be super safe pulling it off. And Caitlyn, biggest thing for her is the range, right? And you set up those traps during the siege, it actually helps you significantly. So they do now rotate the duo up to the top side as Piglet and Matt are going to try and pressure that turret. I wonder if they even get the dive off here on Zig, because he's not leaving.
Well, he's got no flash for a few seconds. Ulti should be available. Will they go for the taunt? Then maybe the knockup. A nice knock back first off, though. And Dota not finding that much time alone, but they're going to take some damage.
Of the team is coming to defend.
Yep. So not much to be had, honestly. The time was bought. Ardent Sensor not too far away from that, but not done yet. Meanwhile, Spencer still scaling up nicely for himself. Not yet any major tank items, but they'll come in soon enough. Ninja Tabby done. Ryu kiting back and forth and getting rid of some more of the vision. Looks to find Mickey. And Ryu got to go for an aggressive build. Never had to go for Hexdrinker. Mickey had the chance of going Syndra and probably forced Ryu to a more defensive build, but Cassie was the choice to go for team fight power, saying we're going to late game a lot, let's just do it that way.
Yeah.
We'll see if it does pay off.
Meanwhile, now they can transition Shen to the bottom side. Once again, ults and teleports back up.
Yep.
With the Titanic Hydra on the horizon. Looks like Lorlo's trying to buy up enough power to instantly clear one of those minion waves.
Sadly for TL, they did not get to use that one minion period where Kane Netted was up and Zig's TP was not. They went to the TP during that time, and kind of irrelevant. T1 doing the best they can from an early deficit off of a really nicely done bot lane dive. And come back pretty strong. Arrow scaling up. Ruin King done, but still a ways to go for Hurricane. Got another 1,300 to go. Mike Young killing a Scuttle, and you. First player this game to hit 200 CS just now, 20 minutes and 12 seconds. Scaling nicely, 2-0-1, 100% KP. In that big team fight, basically all of them had that. Zig threatens the dive, but not going to go for it.
Yeah, his Righteous Glory completed and actually used in lane there as well. Very short cooldown though. They won't necessarily need it.
Seeing damage is coming through in this bot lane right there. Piglet was a little afraid of getting jumped on by a special. There was no jungler super close by. Had a bit of free time, didn't go for it, but that turret is losing health. Down to only a few hundred HP left, so maybe TL can knock that turret down soon enough with Piglet's laning prowess and Matt's support.
Oh!
Ooh, in the top side, they're going to find Piglet first. Now the engage back onto a special. Can the rest of the team join? Not just yet. Ryu, actually the first to roam with the mid laners. Back they go.
Yeah, it looks like Lorlo went, he had his standing item interrupted there by Zig.
Yeah, looks like it.
On the map, guy was able to get in range. So he does not join the top party. It's just a disengage. They trade ultimates. That is a lot of playmaking down for Phoenix1 though, with the Braum and Kalista.
Yeah.
So now it would be up to Zig to have to join the rest of the team, use that Righteous Glory in, get the Maokai combo, Twisted Stance, to try and ensure a team fight if they really wanted to force it. And I have to say, Team Liquid are happy to continue scaling. So unless Phoenix1 do force it, you know, Team Liquid are continue farming. Great multipliers coming through for Caitlyn.
Yeah.
Cassiopeia now on 2 items.
This feels like the power spike to me right here. You just got Ardent Sensor done, you just got Knight's Vow done, Infinity Edge plus Shiv is done. Like, this is where you want to be. This is the TL power spike. Infernal Brick number 3 spawning in a minute. This is something that I think TL really wants to try to use for themselves. We'll see if they can make that one happen. I think top lane tier 1 might actually fall. They give it a little more pressure. You have to make it clear the wave and walk up. I think that turret should fall just off the threat of Caitlyn and everyone else. Both top laners have their summoner teleports available. Zig just backed himself for a Kindle Gem. And TL not looking for turret damage. They're knocking some wards down. And, I mean, 40 seconds till Drake, like, you want to shove that wave for the turret and recall and spend your gold, but no, they're going for something even cheekier, a Baron play, the net over the wall. And they don't know about this. This is so slick. And TL, a 23-minute Baron sneak, and it's going to go off without a hitch. Nicely played the sneak for Liquid. Down 2-1 in the series, and suddenly that is huge.
All right, here comes the Infernal Drake. Will they get the Constellation Prize now for Phoenix1? They have package, and the Baron going down means they empowered recalls might let Team Liquid not even let them have the Dragon. Upside, on the top side, they're not even going to be able to get. They keep their duo lane top side. So this is probably going to be Team Liquid also. Oh, unless they can burn it.
They're going to drop it. Dardoch is here. He's got a smite. Equal level, though. Who's going to do it better? It's going to be Dardoch yet again. Winning the smite fight against Mike Young, and he wants more, but this is a bit risky. He's on the package.
That was a true smite fight victory there for Dardoch. Outnumbered and alone. Chasing them off, able to get the quick finger for another Infernal, and that is really important. Now Team Liquid got the Baron and the second Infernal Drake. See what they can do with it. They've got the Caitlyn coming through, 10-stack Rod of Aegis Cassiopeia. They're definitely online.
Oh yeah.
To take this game to Game 5 Silver Scrapes.
Absolutely, in P1, dreading the reverse sweep. They are going to lose a lot more this game. Lorlo, the lone time of the top lane turret. 3,500 gold lead. Ryu needs a teammate. I don't think he can solo Lorlo easily. He's going to try, though. Here comes the Gatling gun. Pretty good damage here. What can Lorlo do? Pops the Q, pops the dodge zone, and look at Ryu's health bar just get eliminated. Jumps the wall, the flash to follow, the flash to retreat, and he almost takes a javelin. Now, again, Lorlo must run. Where can he even go? The ward over the wall, and gets to dodge away. Lorlo up a summoner, meanwhile mid lane falling, 2-2 is dropped. And Tio gonna keep pushing this one. Up the kill, up 3 turrets, up 5,000 gold. And down to the bot lane goes Lorlo for even more.
Oh man, Team Liquid are on a rampage here. Lorlo draws so much pressure, wins his 1v1 with Ryu, surprises him with the counter attack, and allows the rest of his team to almost take this inhibitor turret.
Wow, almost dead as well. This turret's going to fall. The damage is there. Chase under specials, not need the ulti just yet, but got low on health all the same. Gotta go to the front line. Gotta be a bit careful though. Taylor's getting poked as well. Corky in Italy puts a lot of poke down. Looks at the ulti, not gonna get Ryu though. He kited away. Walked backwards, stayed alive.
Pretty big cooldown there. They might want to get out of town after losing that team 5 power, and they do just that. Baron about recalls. Accelerate the process, and Phoenix1 are reeling from that mid game. What a steal from Team Liquid. Lulled them into this false sense of confidence there with the Scuttle Crab. Hop over the backside. Really heads up play there by Team Liquid. Intelligent call and big punish afterwards. So many rewards.
Absolutely huge. And with the gold, Pickle's allowed to buy QSS third item just to make sure he's safe. I think it's actually a great choice. He doesn't need more damage right now. Just make sure the Maokai doesn't catch you out. And it means there's one less option for P1 to get this win. They can't block a Piglet nearly as easily. Shoves down the wave, earns the 30 gold for Mickey. And a trap on means a lot of damage. Xpecial's got to watch out for this. Ulti comes down for this, but the chase can keep going on. Xpecial's very low. And now the inhibitor going to start taking shots. More poking to Mickey. Dardoch has to respect Ryu as well, and it looks like the champ select so far paying off for Liquid, and the Kalista not being maybe quite what P1 thought it may.
Yeah, Kalista ultimate down removes so many possibilities from Phoenix1's play. Walled off here with traps on the top side, so there's no point of a flank, and Piglet on the inhibitor.
Knock it down, we'll see if it can happen. More shots coming through. A low kill game, but TL's had the pressure. Again, that Baron sneak was absolutely huge, and it meant all of this. Oh, are they gonna find it? Yes, it's gonna be the engage, but the QS has popped the locket as well, and Zig now running out of health. Mickey wants in, ulti for a bit more time. They've got the stunner, there's no way out for especially flashes, and they don't quite have the damage to kill him. The snipe gonna get blocked up by Mike Young as well, so it will be an escape just barely for Phoenix1 for the low health members, but this inhib will fall. Baron's timed out, but mid lane's broken.
They escape, but in their own base, Team Liquid takes down the inhibitor. Pressure on the bottom side from Lorlo as well. He's level 16, highest level in the game now on Shen. Titanic Hydra completed. He's got the Bramble for the Executioner's Calling. Basically, or the, what's the debuff actually called?
Mortal Wounds? Grievous
Yeah.
Wounds, Grievous Wounds.
Grievous Wounds. Applications.
Yes.
So good against Maokai.
Yes.
Trying to heal off those auto attacks. So he's feeling very good about that front line as well as the back line. They've scaled quite nicely.
Let's see what he can find then. Elixir of Iron picked up for Zig. Maybe one last hurrah to play front line here. Baron up in 145, we'll see. Teal have yet to have to set up a Baron. The first one, well, I take that back. I guess they got some decent ones in the previous game, but it was a sneak here in this.
Now who's being sneaky? And it's kind of born of
Desperation, maybe.
yeah, a little bit. They don't have many options available, so they're trying to find their way into a sneak attack.
Oh, they found him. Here they are, right to Blur, but a slow down. Nikki stops them where they stand. And Zig at half force runaway package popped, and it means nothing except an escape for Ryu, and I want to start up, but the tunnel puts him over the wall. Bit of wave through, and that's it. TL stymie the engage. The hope P1 had to get in. It's not going to happen.
Team Liquid also have top lane minion wave pushing, so they're trying to buy themselves some time for their inhibitor respawn by transitioning and keeping these multiple points of pressure. Now they can clear out the super minions coming down mid.
Drake's up at 25 seconds. TL might ignore it because it is Cloud Drake after all, and pros tend to not value it. Whether for right or wrong is kind of irrelevant. They may just not fight. As Piglet is going to stay top side. Cloud in 12 seconds now, and it's going to be a bit of a delayed recall. If P1 rushes it, they should get it without Piglet contesting.
35 on Baron very shortly after as well. That might be the true site confrontation. Phoenix1 first going to take down mid turret.
And they get it. And now Baron's coming up in 20. They're running out of time to be able to go for anything else. They might just let this Cloud Drake languish. Instead, Pros typically not valuing it much.
Shen still doing his work, split pushing as well. Lorlo diligent as ever, working away.
Well, Zig does have TP, so he finally does recall to join, but Baron is now going to be on the map. And it's all about the Baron control, the vision control, the wards. Get yours alive, kill theirs off.
Get them now, get them while they're hot. Wards, wards, wards in the blue quadrant. You get to see them coming towards Baron. And that is so effective with Caitlyn traps, with Cassiopeia disengage ultimate. Team Liquid definitely have some good tools here as far as the Baron bait.
Yep. 7,000 gold difference means TL gets to use their money bags to push people around. And they've actually started the Baron as well, as Mickey's going to play the zone control right now. Looking for the engaging special, gets to the front line, and he's going to get deleted if not for Lulu. The shield, he's back to full HP, you got to believe it. Big Question now running out of health, he jumps on a trap, he's 2 shots away from dead. No crits coming in though for Piglet, he put attack towards Mike Young. And does not kill up his special, so a disengage for TL, a late TP for Zig, but it's for nothing. He's not part of the fight. It's already TL running away.
Yeah, they chase him off of Baron, but top lane's pushing, so they just move right over to objective number 2, contingency plan for Team Liquid. We'll take a turret instead.
And that's going to be a lot of turret health dropping off right there. Number 7 going to drop his 300 gold for himself, 125 to the teammates. Zig wants in. Be careful of the rest of Liquid, but QSS is up. And Piglet's on 3 major items. Ooh, wow, that damage though. Ryu can chunk him out. Here comes the engage across the side. And can Zig make this fight happen? Dardock's low. Mickey, though, is pretty safe in the backside. Piglet wants in, but he's got to be careful still at under 1,000 HP. It's not easy.
They're trying to corner him here. Oh, Ryu gets turned on!
Ooh, Piglet's almost dead. He's not going to fall just yet. Here comes Zig back in the front. They're going to look to knock down Dardock, and they get one. Dardock, who actually trades back and forth. The shutdown coming through for the Italy as Bat stays alive, and now Mickey forces the kite. And look for this. Stormwind is going to come slow resist. Looking for the damage up, but apply more to the front line. The shield is there. And a double kill for Ryu keeps the team alive. It's 4 kills picked up for 2.
Phoenix1 have minions on their Nexus turret, but they get the 4 kills. Shen, the only one
and they called it a defense because they'll lose the game. They can't Baron. They would have loved to, but they can't.
It's also going to... Oh, they're clearing out the wards. That's all Special can do. 25 seconds, low death timers for Team Liquid. The pressure is just too much.
And even though they lose the fight technically 4-2, I think TL still made the right choice in making that attempt because so much of the base died to the dead inhibitor.
The inhibitor is going to respawn shortly, so the back door is fairly difficult. You still have to get through inhibitor plus Nexus. But take a look at this chase now. Phoenix1, they get the Maokai in. able to have his ultimate go across. Ryu on the left side was able to chunk out Piglet and Matt and basically chase them off of this entire fight. Since they're routed, they all try and turn on Ryu there. Callista, they can try and secure it, but Team Liquid are out on the field already. This is going to be a fight.
Desperation for P1 gonna make it happen. Frontliners found each other. Zig and Lorlo holding up the front side. Lola cutting away, and Arrow gonna get away from Baron. The dodge zone buys a bit of time, and now Lola taking take shots through Rio. Locket already popped. They got the taunt out of the back line. Can they kill off Rio? They're gonna try. Damage not there just yet. Arrow pulls back his support. Dardock still in the front line, finds a knockup. They're trying to kill off Mike Dead, but his just keeps him up. But Mickey gets a poison kill onto Arrow, and the chase down 3 down already, and Dardock is on the hunt. He wants Rio. Has the ult, the snipe coming through. They're both gonna try to make it happen. Flash gets Ryu away from the assassination attempt just now, but he's running out of health bars. He's running out of space to run through, and there are minions ready to push into the base. There are no turrets holding alive from mid lane.
They have to go back for the inhibitor. They can't do the Nexus right now.
They've still got time, though. It's only Ryu left alive against 5. There's no way he defends it. Mickey, just for fun, gonna solo the Baron. He needed a real fight, and the Baron gave him one, but now the Nexus will fall, and TL will tie it up 2-2. They'll bring it to game 5. Ryu can only sit and watch and do futile amounts of damage as the Nexus falls, and we are 2-2.
Series deciding game coming up next as Team Liquid strike back and take 2 in the series after a slow start here today.
Ryu ends the game 4-0-3 with more gold than Mickey had in the mid lane. I mean, the Corki clearly worked. It was clearly effective on him. He was good at the champion. He made some good plays. He did a lot of damage. I'm going to look at the actual graphs here.
So much power at the bottom.
Most in the game,
though.
but exactly. We take Callista, we'll give you Caitlyn, and they go Caitlyn plus ranged into Braum.
Deal.
Yeah, that's a good laning phase for TL. And
Your payment.
Oh, I get a dirty napkin with some marinara sauce on it. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. That's worth more than Caitlyn for sure. But the 2-on-2 worked out so well. The turret almost died before any ganks came in, and then the Rek'Sai Shen dive got 2 kills plus that turret, and it was almost over from there.
Yeah, immense amount of pressure there. And, you know, Caitlyn, there's a reason nobody used to give it over, and especially to Piglet, who is one of his comfort champions.
Absolutely the case. So well played, of course, to them. And it's going to be time to hear more about that win, about that Liquid Series tying game. Let's send it down to Degon and Azael.
Thank you very much, Freak. And
It is time.
it's time for another Game 5. We'll queue up Silver Scrapes in just a minute, but another win for Team Liquid. They're able to out-team fight. Cassiopeia in the hands of Mickey, and he pops off and has a great game and pushed it over the edge here.
Yeah, I mean, I think TL, again, it seems like almost every single game we've had on both streams today has come down to who's 5v5ing better, who is actually team fighting better, and I think it kind of makes sense when you don't have the absolute tip-top teams, because macro play sometimes is a little bit of an afterthought, and you don't always get that sort of
Kills,
game.
baby.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta get kills, you got group 5, and you gotta fight. And having champions like Lulu, Caitlyn, Cassio, I think makes for a very, very strong 5v5, especially in combination with a 2-man front line.
Well, right there, you said Caitlyn, because Caitlyn finally got through, but so did Callista as P1 went ahead and decided to ban Tristana and go with the Callista first pick. Why would a team go with the Callista first pick instead of a Caitlyn that usually picks out the ban first?
Well, I mean, both of those champions have been banned a lot in recent weeks. I think that Caitlyn does different things than Callista. Callista is more about, you know, early skirmishing, team fighting, offers you a lot of engage with the ultimate as well as a lot of safety for your support, whereas Caitlyn is more about pushing lanes, sieging turrets, getting advantages on the map through that, and doesn't really turn on until much later in the game. And even then, with a lot of the attack speed nerfs, her late game is somewhat weaker, but she is, you know, the trade-off is that she is safer. She can have like much longer range. It's easier to contribute to those fights if you do stay even or ahead later in the game.
And so, taking a look at one of the team fights that did happen, the very final one, we thought that maybe they had made a mistake here by not going straight down the base and blowing it up, but again, another Baron call by P1, kind of a desperation call here.
Yeah, I mean, P1 had already lost their Nexus turrets in the previous fight. They did win that fight, but they go right out to Baron. They decide they actually need to try to rush this fight. They look for the engage. They're not really able to fight it. You can follow Piglet in this fight, and he's basically completely untouched. He's supported by Matt in the back, and the fact that he's so easily able to contribute in this fight, his front line stands tall. Ryu is pushed out. You see that, you know, Arrow is not really able to contribute nearly as much, and when you are a free-firing carry, when you are kept so safe by your front line, and when you're, you know, enabled by this Ardent Sensor Lulu, who's going to speed you up, who's going to give you that extra attack speed, it becomes very, very easy to actually execute on those team fights.
So Corki in the hands of Ryu, again, not able to find the success that he needs here. Do you go back to that kind of champion, or that Corki, or do you look for a different champion that allows Ryu to carry like we're normally used to seeing him?
I mean, he has carried a lot of games on Corki, and I certainly think that the problem was not with the Corki. I think that he was fairly effective. He had a pretty good game for himself, and I think that they're certainly able to win with that pick. They got pretty behind early. You know, Dardoch was very effective. Mike Young wasn't able to find the same early kills, and I think the game was decided kind of elsewhere. It wasn't really about Ryu. So to me, whatever he's comfortable on and whatever he wants to play that makes sense in the draft is going to be fine, because Ryu is a guy who really has shown a lot of strength, both last year and promos and this year as well.
So talking a little bit about where else we can find the carry in the next game. Game 5, we need a big play out of a big player. Where are you hoping to see the big play come up from?
That's a lot of big plays.
Playing. Where's it going to happen?
I think a lot of it is going to come down to the junglers in Game 5.
Yeah.
We've seen Dardoch and Mike Young have some very good games throughout the promotion tournament. These are both very carry-style players. I think whichever jungler has a stronger early game will likely be able to enable their team to win the game.
All right, well, cue the Silver Scrapes. We're headed to a Game 5. Stay tuned for the final result of Phoenix1 and Team Liquid. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the final promotion tournament.